Today we're going to make a 9-patch disappearing block, and the first thing I need to do is make a 9-patch block. I've cut out 3.5-inch squares. 4 would have been ideal for me, but one of my fabrics was a bit small, so 3.5, 4.5-inch squares, whatever you've got really. So I'm going to cut the last one now of the 3.5-inch. So I've got my ruler and I've set it at 3.5. Check twice. 1, 2, 3.5. 1, 2, 3.5. And I'm going to cut across there. And then I'm trying to cut around the camera. And then I'm going to cut here. And that's my final block for the 9-patch. So we're at the ironing board now, and they're set out in the 9-patch they need to be in for this particular one, because there's different versions of disappearing 9-patch. This one you need 4 of the same fabric, and then the 5 pieces can be anything, the individual ones then, but these 4 need to be the same for what we're doing today. So I'm going to join these together into pairs. That pair there, that pair there, and that pair there. I got my 1/4 inch foot on my machine now, and I'm going to put them together, right sides together, and I'm going to stitch 1/4 inch seams down all of these. I'm doing what we call chain piecing or factory piecing. As I come to the end of one, I'm going to start the next one. So as I'm coming to the end of that one, I can start the next one. And the same with the third pair. Once that goes through, there we go. I'm going to take those back to the ironing board and cut them now. So I'm going to cut the little couple of stitches in between where they joined. 1 and 2. And then lay them out again. Make sure you've got them in the right order. I think this one was here and that one was there, because then I got pink, pink, blue, blue, yes. Now I'm going to join the third one onto each one. So exactly the same again. As I come to the end, I'm going to get the next piece and just put that one under. Ready to stitch. There we go. And do the same with the third one. So there's the 3 rows set out. I need to press the back seams now, and I usually press and then press them all in one direction, and then the next row I press them in the opposite direction. So that's going that way. So this row now, I want to go the other way. I'll just turn them around to do that. And then, so these ones are going that way, so these ones want to go that way again. So I press them that way. Now when I come to join these 3 rows together, they'll nestle up to each other. So I'll be able to nestle those seams together and put a pin either side of that seam to hold those in place while I sew them. And by putting the pins in vertically, it stops your work from shifting about, and you'll have points that match. I've sewed those first 2 together now, so I'm going to press them and open them up. There we go. So now I'm going to join this seam here. So the same again, nestle in the seams, pin that way and stitch. So I've got the third row here. Now I'm going to stitch with a 1/4 inch seam. Take the pins out as you come to them. And I won't take this one out till I'm almost upon it, because then that'll stop anything shifting. I'd usually have a pin the other side to go across doing that. So I'm going to press this third seam. So this should look good from the top and the bottom. Oh, there you go. So you've got the shape there you want. Next is the cutting, and we're going to make 2 cuts. One is going to be going right down the centre in that direction, and the other one's going to be going across in that direction. So I've measured this exactly halfway. I've got it along this line here so I know I'm straight, and I'm going to make the first cut across that way. And the second cut is going vertically. So I'm going to cut here, measure twice, cut once. And this is what you're left with. And now you turn this top right one halfway around and the bottom left one halfway around, and you're left with this pattern. You join these two together, and then these two together.